All right, so we can mess up on accident.
Yes, you can mess up, babe. It's not like
Joanna
we want it to be
scares me.
natural.
Joanna's scary.
Right? Don't say that. Don't say
Bible
that.
verse.
Don't say that.
Don't say that.
Don't
Don't
say
say
that.
that, papi.
Don't say that.
Can you do that?
I don't talk
Interesting.
with bad words. I haven't in
talk
about
with
4
bad
years.
words.
Forgive
About
me.
3 years.
Oh, there it is.
It's more like saying sorry.
Did it go live? All right. All right, guys. Welcome to Collective Talks. I am your host today, Robert Saavedra, and I have my co-host. Introduce yourself.
Jaylene Romero.
Darius Montgomery.
Jaime Lopez. Go by Junior.
Goes by Junior. So welcome to our podcast, our first podcast, our pilot podcast.
Pilot.
Called Collective Talks. All right. So today we're going to have a few discussions. We are going to go around the table and you're going to introduce yourself again. Tell me a funny story that you've done that has happened to you. And also this is sponsored by SUM West Denver Cohort. Shout out to them. My wife is the cohort advisor. You need any information. We are all SUM students. I will be officially
Finally.
graduated.
Thank you, Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Robert's that car in the driveway that's been there forever, but you just started it going. That's it.
One day they're gonna fix it.
One day.
One day we're gonna fix this car.
They almost got it.
I have 2 more classes and I will be done.
Yes,
I
sir.
am happy, excited.
Don't choke. That's why you're
Dude, imagine. I'm just waiting for my sister so we can graduate together.
No, he's waiting for his son.
I'm waiting for my 3-year-old son. He's gonna have a full ride scholarship.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We're all SUM students returning first year, second year.
Yes, first year.
First year. All right, and then all right. Well, we'll go around. So we can start. Who has one on top of their head already?
Funny story? Oh, man.
Funny story in regards to what?
It could be.
Anything.
I could share one if.
Go ahead.
Well, I'll
You
start
first.
off.
Yeah,
I'll
go
start off,
ahead.
and then you guys go. Okay. All right. So this story, I wanted to. I remember it was my first Mardi Gras with SUM. It doesn't have to be church related or anything, but this is just my story. It's a funny story. It was my first year with SUM, first Mardi Gras with SUM, and I remember that I was in the first few rows, and I really felt like I should go pray for my friend. He has gout, and he was like having a bad day that day because he was obviously had gout. So I was like, I should go pray for him. I should go I was in the moment. I go up to the altar call, and then I put my, he's on the ground, he's all crying, right? And I lean over and I put my hand on the shoulder and I start praying for him. And then I just I don't know, I felt like I wanted to share a word with him, but I didn't want to bend down to do it, so I squat. So when I squat, my pants rip. And I think they ripped from the butt, I don't know. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but they ripped. And I was like, I stood up straight, and I walked out.
Amen.
Amen.
That
God,
works out for you.
God knows this. Cry.
Amen, brother.
So I remember I ran to the room, and luckily I had 2 pairs of pants. But those are the brand new pair of pants.
Dang.
That was my story.
All right. I guess I have one.
Damn,
My name, I go by Junior. I'm from Increase Church. Cousin of Robert and Jaylene. And I guess cousin in law.
Forced upon us.
No, my story is actually when it was at one of the youth camps, summer retreats. I don't remember which one exactly, but I can't say names, huh? Let's not say it. So I went to go pray for this one guy, and then it was already after all the praying was done, but God he called me over, so I was like, all right, let me just go talk to him. And then I was talking to him for about 2 minutes, and then I was like, well, let me just pray for you. And then so I started praying, and then I looked down, and he just fell, boom, straight on the floor, bro. No one was behind him, because church was pretty much over, so no one was expecting it. And then I'm pretty sure he had a concussion.
Bro, that's crazy.
It was in the spirit.
Yeah, he's in the spirit, so
Jesus
nothing,
got him.
nothing hurt him. But yeah, so now I've learned to pray with people, like touch their shoulders, like please don't fall. But yep, that's my story.
Oh man.
Tell me to go.
Go ahead, because I don't have one yet.
I don't. It's not a funny story, but it's with you and Junior. We were playing. We'd go play. Was it soccer?
Soccer?
Soccer or basketball?
You're annoying.
You already know.
That's a good story.
Dale.
So we would go. It was for a while. How we were like a good 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Not every day, but probably like 2 times out of the week we would go and play soccer or basketball. It'd be me and when I say names, we can't say names. Me and
Michelle and Julie.
It'd be me and Michelle versus Julia and Junior, and we would just beat them and everything.
No, that's not true.
Not
Tell
true.
the story right.
Yes.
All right,
Tell her
well.
right, bro. All right.
We're playing soccer and
It's a true story.
we were playing soccer. And I'm pretty sure we were winning.
No.
And I think we ended up winning. That's what it was. And I was being called a cheater the whole time, of course. And
Of course.
Never.
a story for a different time. But she was being a poor sport, and we ended up winning. And she walked home, and we all drove home.
We saw her
And we
walking.
recorded her home.
No, it's just
Because I lost, but I wasn't dumb.
I did right.
I was so
I
mad.
got the house. All right, good.
No, because he was cheating and we basically won, and then somehow he scored it. And then he's annoying. If you've ever played a sport with Darius or played anything,
No. Es un santo.
he's annoying and he is annoying. So he got in my head that day.
The FIFA champ.
Just that day. Never again. All right, Julie, you'll
Okay.
go closer.
A funny story. I don't know, guys. I don't remember anything ever. So
Michelle.
Something in high school, soccer team, volleyball.
do you know a funny story? with
About
me?
me? Can you tell my story, bro?
I have a lot of funny stories about you. A lot of stuff I'll message you all the time.
No, I guess this is a scary story. I just told Robert the other day.
That's a funny story.
I guess funny for everyone, but it was my life. No, so me and my sister, this was like when we were super young. We were laying down on the floor, and my mom always had she had like nice jewelry on us. And so I was gonna play a prank on my sister and tell her like, oh, Michelle, I lost my ring. So I did, and we were laying down. I put the ring in my mouth, and I went to like go like that. And when I did that, I swallowed the ring. And so I like get up, and I'm like trying to like get her attention, like I can't breathe. And then she's like, what the heck just happened? So I'm like pointing the ring and telling her like I can't breathe. So she like runs upstairs, grabs my dad, and my dad has to like push my stomach,
The Heimlich maneuver.
Yeah.
and then it popped out. So I didn't die.
So
That's why I didn't die.
Like a cartoon.
Yep, that's my sister. That is my sister. Yeah. So one of the things that we wanted to do with this podcast was kind of an opportunity for us to share a little bit of what God has done in our lives, and I mean, with all the humor and stuff. I mean, I think God is it's fun and exciting and cool, but just taking the time to just right now we'll go around again and we'll share about our stories a little bit. But I know we all at one point came to Christ, right? I hope.
We did? Just kidding.
No, but the cool thing about this table that we all have our stories, kind of how we encountered Christ. Some of us grew up in church. Some of us had nothing to do, know nothing about God. Some of us grew up in church and rejected God, denied God. But before I received Christ, tell me your thoughts on how you lived your life. Tell me a little bit of who you are, what you went through. You don't have to go all like crazy, but I got pushed down the stairs, stuff like that, just like.
dropped on my head. No,
So we can just tell us a little bit about like where you come from, where you from, and a little bit of your life story. I know we're gonna do this for the next probably like 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 10 weeks. So we'll share a little more, but just so you guys can get to know who we are and what we're trying to do and stuff. So we can start with Junior. So tell us a little bit about who you are, where you come from, how you ended up here.
Well, what was your initial question?
Well, I guess before Christ, how did you live?
How did I live? So I grew up in Los Angeles, Southern California, I guess, because I moved around a lot. But honestly, before Christ, I felt like I was living a good life. Like I wasn't doing bad. I wasn't. No, for real. And like I wasn't really that depressed. I wasn't like. I feel like all those things happened after I accepted Christ.
All right, we're gonna.
We end the podcast here, guys.
That's not the truth.
Can I explain?
Oh my God! What the heck are you doing?
that's fair. That's fair.
Everyone has unique stories.
All right.
Sígale.
No, but the reason why I found out that happened was because before Christ, the devil didn't have to mess with me because he already had me. Until you accept Christ, then you get to go to heaven. You know, your name is in the book of life. So before, I never had to deal with anything too bad because the devil was pretty much leaving me alone. He was like, I already got you. But the moment I accepted Christ, that's when all the challenges started happening. That's when I started, feeling depressed. Obviously, God got me through that. Thank God. But yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I guess.
I think we need to cut that off. Just kidding.
Well, tell us a little bit about how your parents, like what they believed in, and then kind of how,
Yeah. So even though I wasn't always a sad boy or depressed or anything like that, I did have, I guess, a hard life. I didn't know it was hard until I grew up. It was just, yeah, you look back, I'll be like, dang, our family shared one hamburger meal.
I had 2 pairs of underwear. You go in there.
Back then, I was like, okay, this is just my life. But now I have a father who is alcoholic. My mom, she doesn't believe in our Christian faith. So at home, I really had no structure or anything. No one to motivate me in my Christian walk. No one to set the standard, honestly, between right and wrong. And thank God I had cousins and family members. At the time, I didn't like it, that I would be forced to go to church. But I'm grateful to God that I have cousins and aunties and aunties that are praying women and cousins who push me to go that route. So yeah.
All right. Cool. Jaylene or Julie.
Hello, my name is Jaylene, but I go by Julie. Well, at school I go by Jaylene, but you can call me Julie, I guess.
My dancing name.
I was born in California, but raised in Colorado, so technically I'm from Colorado. My life before Christ, I guess I was born in the church, so in a way, like, I've always known about God, but in high school, when I really started making decisions and living my life, I didn't follow God's path 100%. I kind of lived like a double life. So I would go to church every Sunday. I was very involved, but when I was in school, it was not that. So I guess a life before Christ I don't have, but when I guess it counted in high school, I never really walked the walk. I was fake in a way. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Darius. Dario.
It's my husband, guys.
I'm Darius.
My negrito.
I'm from Denver, Colorado. I'm from Barnum, a little city in South Denver.
Boo.
And
I live off Feds.
first in Knoxville. And I came to Christ probably, I want to say, when I was like 22 or 21. 22 or 21. I just remember, I've never really grew up in church. My dad's mom would take us to church. But I would cry if they split up me and my sister. I was that kid. Or if they just took me into it was Heritage Christian Center. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It's really big church. And I would just take naps. I would just fall asleep the whole sermon. After worship, people would go crazy. Like my uncle would have his little towels. They just going crazy. Everyone going crazy. And I would just get mad because I wouldn't be able to take a nap. That's literally all I remember from like Christian church wise. And then my mom's grandma, she's Catholic. She brought us up as Catholics, but I didn't really go to Catholic church. So I really grew up outside of church, just running around being bad. And then when I turned 21, it was like a roller coaster that year for me. And then I ended up getting saved, and then I married Julie, and then now I'm here.
All right. So what were some of the things that you guys felt like that you were revolved around? You know, I know you said depression. At least for me, before I was saved, BC, before Christ, I was probably into smoking weed and partying and all that stuff. Not a good life, but the truth is that as a kid, I guess I didn't share about who I was, but my name's Robert. I'm originally from California.
He's a toaster.
Toaster?
What's a toaster?
What? We didn't get the joke.
Yeah, right. Now you gotta explain the joke.
Barnum joke?
Again.
I thought he was like saying he's like a boy or girl. I thought he was so he goes by a toaster.
It's a microwave. No, but it was. I grew up in LA all my life. I moved to Colorado about 14 years ago when my sisters were very little, and that was a big part of why I moved here. But for me, I grew up in a home. My parents were never married. When I was born, my parents separated. My dad came to Christ when I was like 3 years old. My mom was young and she just wanted to live her life, so she was in a different path. I spent most of my childish years with my family. Tia Marita, shout out to her. Mama Celia, all them. I was around church a lot, but I didn't really like church, honestly, as a kid. Didn't want to be there. Refused. I would only go for the tacos after church.
Tacos after church.
Some good
La
tacos,
actividad,
bro.
papa. I don't even know about la actividad. They sell food after church and we just have food. But I'm not gonna get into like my testimony right now. But that was, got into drinking, smoking. I had a lot of resentment towards my mom, especially my dad too. But eventually, I just came to Christ, and one of the bigger reasons why I came to Christ is because I wanted to be a good example to my sisters, which at that age they were like 3 and 6, right?
And you were?
Yeah. Huh?
And how old were you?
I was like 16. I was 16. But that was really like the tipping point for me. I was just going down a bad road. I was involved in some bad stuff. But yeah, God had a purpose. God marked me, and here I am.
Right.
But yeah, so what were some of the things you were involved in before Christ?
Me, it was definitely depression. It was, I guess I had no sense of love, honestly. My mom was someone who, I know she cares, I know she's there, but she never showed affection. Or
Like in her own way?
Yeah. So it was always, she would kind of let me do whatever I wanted to, But so I really had no sense of love, and now I know that I've finally experienced love, for the first time.
Your girlfriend?
Well, no, love with God.
Exclusive. You got a girlfriend. Is that why you're losing weight?
It was actually. How deep do you want me to go into?
Nah, just a little bit. Just
Okay, so I was depression.
I don't want to hear it.
I was a sad boy.
I
I
was a sad boy.
Julie, not into too much detail because I mean we got like we'll share more in the future, but just kind of over the surface.
What was the question again?
What were the kind of things you were involved in before Christ? I know you said you were fake. I mean, you still kind of are, but
I think I struggled with like loving myself. Like my mom was single, like Robert said. So I didn't have a dad really growing up. So like boys was my struggle,
Downfall.
I guess. No, that sounds bad.
whoa,
I don't know about that word.
first time for me, buddy.
A different word, downfall.
Downfall, your downfall.
No.
I struggle with boys.
No, I invested my time into a guy too much, and yeah.
So you married him.
And and we're not gonna get into it. You said I didn't say what boy.
So he's no longer struggle. 'Cause he's had that on the internet. Joking. Go, Darius.
I was involved in a lot. I was just
Say
my
what?
mom loved me. I wasn't like
Thanks, bro. Rub it in our
I wasn't
face.
like junior, but I wasn't like junior. I didn't do it like the pressure or nothing. I was just a young cat in the hood, just running around with all my friends.
Here, I'll tell you guys. So he just kidding.
He didn't want to share, so let me
You
tell
don't want to get into it too much. I was just young, running around the hood with my friends.
All right, cool. So we can see how much time we got, guys, already. I just don't want to go too long, because we will have so much we need to share in the next week.
We have 20 minutes.
We've been on 20 minutes only.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. I don't want to be on here too long.
It's only been 20 minutes. Pizza's here. Pizza's here, guys.
17 minutes.
I'm just joking. No. All right. So I guess we can kind of get into the. Sorry. Well, I mean, just kind of to touch a little bit on what Junior was saying. Like he said, like, before God, like he didn't really realize how messed up. Like, and I could finally, and I could kind of like relate to that because, you know, like even when he was saying about like sharing one burger for 4 people, stuff like that. Like, you know, when you're a kid, you think that's just normal. You think that's just like, kind of like those are the cards that were handed to you, and those are the cards you kind of live with.
Can't help it.
Yeah, you know, so it's kind of like, oh yeah, those are the rich kids that live in Pasadena. That's not for me, you know.
Glendale.
Or Glendale, Burbank, and it's one of those things where it's not like you don't really realize it until like you start getting older and you start seeing other kids, and you know, like for me, I would say not a lot of my friends look depressed, but I know some of my friends like committed suicide.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those like real deals where it's like, whoa, like this is real, and I feel this way, and this is a real emotion, and it's something that like I think a lot of us, as maybe it's a cultural thing where we just kind of like you just kind of roll with the punches and you just kind of deal with it.
Yeah.
Until you start realizing like, oh dang, I am really messed up. I am really dealing with some stuff. I am really like, I didn't know I was resentful. I didn't know I was angry, but when I would get like heated, then all that stuff that was boiling within me would like burst out.
Yeah.
You saw it in the face.
Yeah, so my sisters were always scared of me apparently, because when we get into it, when me and my mom talk about stuff, they're like, "Yeah, your sisters are scared of you still." I'm like, "Mom, like really? Like, aren't we over this already?"
Yeah, so tell me, like, tell him, right? Do you want me to be scared of Rob with you?
I don't even know when was the last time I went at them. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen, bro. Literally, like, I haven't been there to witness it.
I don't even know, but I mean, apparently
It's just trauma, guys. It's just trauma. I'm
There
trying to
is.
I
deal
walk
with.
around with the belt.
That's what she dreams of.
Yeah.
Nightmares.
Robert! Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, I think everybody, like I said, everybody has their own struggles and their own ways in how they deal with stuff. And I know, like with my sister, she didn't say it, but I'll say it. Like her dad wasn't in her life. her. I mean, she did say that, but at a very young age, and it was because of he was drinking or doing whatever, and it was something that she had to deal with, and it was hard, but I'm glad she's here now. Right?
Amen.
I'm glad that my sacrifice paid off.
I never got a thank you.
Still.
Thanks, Robert.
let it be known.
Let it show the record.
For the record, she is thankful, guys. All right. When did you first hear about the gospel? Or I guess when did you take it? Like, when did you start taking it serious? What happened that made you like start thinking like, oh, okay, I should, because I know I know Darius. I mean, he'll share it one day, but he would go to church for my sister, but I don't think he wanted to be there, honestly.
Nope, he did not.
and then like Junior said, he went to church and he didn't want to be there either. So, but I mean, I guess at one point, when did it come real to you, and when did it become like, oh, this is something I should be doing or I want to be doing?
Do I go first again?
Let's go with Darius.
I don't know. Like, it didn't really like, you said, like, well, how did you say it? Like, when did it come to you?
When did you realize that
When did you
this
realize it?
was important to you?
Probably,
When he lost me.
no.
The one that got away.
She wishes. Probably, like, that camp. The last camp, was it?
2 years ago?
Yeah, was it the last one? Yeah, it was the last one.
Yeah. And I just felt like the kids liked me there, so I was like, okay, well, maybe I could just lead the kids, and maybe I could just lead people, or maybe someone. I'm called to do something. And then now I'm here.
I'm here. All right, that's cool. Jaylene.
When did I really realize?
Oh, like a date? Do we need like a year?
No, you
No.
don't have to. Just kind of like, when did it like?
The time and the
'Cause I think we
degrees
all-
outside.
Yeah, I think we all have a moment where, like, I mean, we've been there, we've gone to church, but there's a moment that you go through where it's like, this is
I
something
have
that I
to,
want to do.
yeah.
It's something that I should do, or something that I feel like I need to do.
Well, like I said, I was in the church all the time. So, in high school, we had all those camps, and we would go to convention, and we would do this and we would do that, and it was always a roller coaster for me. Like, I'd be on fire for God, and then I'd go back to school, and it'd be like, So it kind of got to a point where I was like, dang, like, I really need to live my life. Like, God has spoken to me many, many times, and it was kind of like, okay, Julie, you're down here, now you need to get up. So I think after high school is when I finally, like, okay, you have to do this. You can't live two lives no more.
All right, Junior.
Well, I got saved at your church. Well, you were at the youth pastor at
LPG.
Liberación.
Liberation.
So ever since then, I was pretty much on fire. But I think, like many times in my life, I've always slipped.
Mm-hmm.
I always went back to what was comfortable to me. I would always do the things that I knew I shouldn't have been doing. So I'm not proud of it, but I'm real. I've had to rededicate my life a lot of times.
Same.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people should like want to admit that, but they're too nervous to admit it. And I think we were talking, not to go off on,
All right.
not to go off on what you were saying, but I want to say that the Russian guy from convention, he touched on something like that. He touched on people like rededicating themselves and like not being afraid to admit that you need to get rededicated. Which so I just go off on what you said. Anyways, back to you.
Back to me. No, that's cool. I forgot what I was saying.
That you kept rededicating your life to God.
I had to rededicate my life a lot of times. But honestly, the time that I felt that this time it was for real is when I went with Pastor James to open up a church in Westminster. Sorry. God put it in our hearts because that city was the largest city in the United States without a AG church, an Assemblies of God church. So there was about, I don't want to say a number because I don't know if I'm wrong. There was 100,000 people.
I think
basically.
it's the ratio because I've heard him say it's the ratio between like the amount of people in churches.
So anyway, there's a lot of people there that don't have any spirit-filled church. There's a lot of people that are lost, broken. They don't have the answer. And God just put in my heart that I had to reach these people. For me, it's more young adults, youth kind of age. But God put it in my heart that I was supposed to help these guys. I have the answer. I'm able to help them out. And for me to keep those answers and keep Jesus to myself, it's really selfish. And I never realized it until I took it seriously. And I was like, all right, well, these people need me. So after that,
sorry. All right. Next question.
So that's when I took it serious. It was July of last year.
Cool. Dang, that long, bro?
Yeah.
You
How
finally
long
took
have
it
you been
serious?
here?
I've been a Christian for 7 years.
And I took it serious last year. No, but I mean, I think that's interesting that you say that. I mean, it's good that you're very transparent and vulnerable about that because, there's some people. I mean, I think church cultural.
Yeah.
It's really like almost frowned upon to say that you're falling or you need help. So whether it's pride, whether it's us, whether it's whatever, we think it's not. We are. I don't need. I could do this on my own. I could figure this out. I can blah 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 blah. But I think part of the reason or one of the things is that when you learn to kind of accept or be like, hey, I need help.
Yep.
I need someone to help me through this. And that's part of, I think that's a big part of what God has put in. It's in the word, to lean on him, to trust in God, to fellowship with other people, to ask for help. But there's nothing wrong with needing help. And there's nothing wrong with, because I know even as a leader or a pastor, I've felt like I'm struggling and I'm like, at the brink of like, I don't want to do this no more. and I think that's very common. But the problem is that people get to that point where they don't ask for help because they're like, oh, I don't want you to think that I'm weak no. I think, at least for me, when you can admit that you're struggling and you need help is when I could have the most respect for you because you can be like, hey, like, let me help you. And if I don't have the answer, let me put you in a direction where someone can help you. Because I've been in churches where it's like you got to be like this way and you got to look this way and you got to act this way, but you can't pretend that you're struggling or you can't look like you're dealing with something like. And I think that's real. That's real in the church and that's real even in life. Like we just kind of like we put a mask on or we put on whatever. But yeah, shout out to you guys. Shout out to Increase that you guys are out there doing that because
shout out to Increase. Shout out to Pastor James.
Pastor James. But that's it's one of
Pastor Vanessa.
Hey, are you gonna let me talk about, bro? but it's when we can come together and we can do what God has called us, I think that really goes a long way. I think for me when it really became real, because like I said, I grew up in church and I even at times you could say I knew how to play the role. Right, tuck in your shirt, sit in the back, clap when you need to, stand up when you're supposed to, pray when you're supposed to, when your tía Manita's looking, stand up straight.
Close your eyes.
Put some water in your eyes, pretend you're crying.
Altar call already? Oh, okay, I'll go up.
Yep.
You can only get water twice in the service. The rest you gotta just dehydrate and sit in the back. 3-hour services.
The biggest drinks at the water fountain.
But yeah, that was, it was one of those things where it's like I grew up in church and stuff like that. But I think for me, when it really became something that I needed to take serious was one, when I started dating my wife, because I knew that like she wasn't going to date someone that was going to be like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, that she was going to be with somebody that.
Shout out Joanna.
Shout out my wife, Joanna.
Cohort advisor.
She's a realist.
We love her.
We love her.
Yes.
There's Sprite.
Don't
I'm
send me
thirsty.
Don't send me an email.
I'm doing my work.
I'm doing my work. I'm passing. I'm gonna graduate. I promise. No, but and then also like when I started, I think one of the first ministries I ever worked with was Royal Rangers in LA. I was a senior commander, and I was only 19. I was 18, doing it because we didn't have anybody. The guy who did it was like, I'm bouncing. So you are the only one that I feel can do this. I was like, all right, cool. So at that time, me and Tony got together, and my wife and Becky, we started working together. And it came real to me when I started seeing the change and the impact that we were making on some of the kids' lives.
Yeah.
Simple things as having full uniforms, but that was opening doors for them to encounter God and stuff, and seeing God use me and like in those ways. And I think for me, that's when it started becoming like, this is something that I could do in the long run, and this is something that I could see myself doing. Besides the fact that God spoke into my life, and I was trying to ignore that, but that for me, that when the people started saying, Rob, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for trying. Thank you for being the only person that was there for me when nobody else believed in me. I think that for me was like, all right, this isn't about me anymore. This is about God.
Yep. Amen.
This is about what God wants to do. And I mean, that's kind of with all you guys, like what Darius said and what Julie said and Junior and stuff like that. Like, I remember that time at camp with Darius. That was the last camp we have, which we're gonna probably do again. Hopefully COVID goes away and
Coming soon.
2021, hopefully.
Virtual.
Virtual experience.
Oh my God, bro. No, don't do that. But it's the people doing
The
chants
Zoom
on the
ID.
cam.
Zoom ID will be shared soon. The Zoom ID.
Tug of war. The computer.
Hopefully not.
faster.
Hopefully not. Hopefully we can figure this out. But I think honestly that was one of the cooler things that we did. I think we had the biggest impact doing that more than anything.
Yeah.
But I remember that camp where Darius was at, and I remember he came up to me after that service, and I was kind of salty with him a little bit because he kept like just bouncing on my sister. And I was like, so do I hate him or do I love him? Like, how am I supposed to act with this guy? Am I supposed to take him serious or am I not supposed to? Or is this like another one of your struggles?
That was the last one, I think.
But I think that at that moment it was like we had a moment at the altar, kind of praying with him and stuff like that, and it was kind of cool because he kind of opened up to me and stuff like that, and I think I had more respect for him because I really honestly I didn't really know him. And I didn't really know anything about him because he was the big secret in the family, right? I just kept seeing my sister, Man Crush Wednesdays?
Man Crush Monday.
Man Crush Mondays? I was like, who's this Man Crush? Who's this guy? He speaks his teeth. I'm just joking.
Zoom in on my teeth.
Go get a shot.
Look at these pearly whites. No, but yeah, that was kind of cool. And then, yeah, seeing my sister now, they're both doing youth group here in our church, which is kind of cool because it's something new, something fresh, something that we can make it our own. And yeah, that's really exciting. And then Junior, Westminster, that's dope. I'm glad that we saw Matt yesterday and you were Devin.
Devin, yes.
That was cool. To see. He kind of reminded me of JoJo. Did you ever meet JoJo? Healing
Fort
Waters.
Morgan.
Healing Waters?
Yeah, I guess I've met a lot of JoJos in my life.
Oh, I'm like, wait, what JoJo?
Yeah, you don't know JoJo.
I don't know.
No, you don't know JoJo. That's what he reminded me of. He was like skinny and like, frail. But yeah, cool. That's awesome. So I'm glad that you guys shared a little bit about that.
We're only 30 minutes in, so keep
Are
going.
Are you kidding?
Well,
What is your favorite Bible verse?
Jesus wept.
Jesus. Where's it at? Where's it
Matthew.
at?
Where is it?
All right, cool. All right, let's end on a high note. All right, let's end on a high note. We'll continue this talk in the next few weeks. Keep tuning in. God is good.
Amen.
Let's just share your favorite ministry moment, where you felt God has used you, or you felt whether it's, or you know what? Let's not do that. Let's do your favorite. Let's just do that one. Sorry, guys. I was gonna say like an SUM thing, but we could do that for the next time.
I have an SUM thing.
Oh yeah. Share your favorite. That's a good one.
Last year.
That's a big package. Just saying.
I know.
Get some context. Get some context.
I know. No, I guess a testimony in my life was last year for Mardi Gras. Was it the last year?
It was last year.
No, it was last year, but no, the last service, I don't remember. It was when we were serving the crawfish and that service. we were in service and there was an evangelist preaching that night or that morning. And I remember like listening to him. It was super cool. Like the whole preaching was dope. And then he like started, altar call came up and he started talking and calling people out. And I was just like, dang, this is dope. But never in my life or never have I ever thought like about myself being that or like seeing myself do that. So I saw it as like, this is super cool, but it's nothing that I could ever do. So I kind of like, we sat back, we just watched, and there was a moment where he started, preaching and praying, and he starts saying that he has a number in his head and that God is really putting this number in his, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's crazy. Like, there's no way. So then he starts saying, oh, this is a social security number. And I was like, what the heck? No. And then he's like, no, this is a phone number. So I was just like, all right, we'll see what phone number or whatever. And then he started saying 1748. And I was like, oh, sorry. My number is 7. Sorry.
My social security is
My credit card number is.
So he said the number, and it was the last 4 digits of my phone number, which is like crazy. I was like, I didn't even want to raise my hand because I was like, there's no way. But I raised my hand, and I went up there, and basically God called me again. As I said, God always speaks to me and always calls me, and this is the time to answer. But he basically told me that I'm called to speak prophetic word and to use my mouth and to speak word into people's lives. And like Robert said, I am an Amazon package. And so that's why he said I'm a big package. It's like I'm an Amazon package and I just need to get to where I need to go. So
to your destination.
So it was very powerful, and pray for me.
It's in transit.
We gotta get the
Why
label.
Is it going to China?
China. It's going to China.
I don't know how to follow that up, but I made the dean's list. Without I still need my certificate. This is sponsored by some, so I'll be waiting for that.
It's SUM.
SUM, sorry.
He always says sub. He made the dean's list on his first year, trimester.
Nice.
Míralo, mijito. Wow.
Again
I did
this
too.
trimester.
I did too, and I took one class.
When was that? 6 years ago? When Junior came to Christ the first time?
Shots fired.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Junior, go. Junior, favorite ministry moment or?
Well, I'll just say the most recent one was when I was having a Bible study with Devin. We were just talking. He's actually a little weird because he likes the Old Testament more than the New Testament. But it's because I don't know. Yeah.
Because he's weird.
No, he's not weird.
No, the Old Testament's crazy. Talking to a person.
Yeah. Well, it's for the deep thinkers, and he likes to ask a lot of questions. Some catch me off guard
You're
sometimes.
like, wait, hold up. I'll get you.
I didn't see
next
that.
I've
But,
never studied that.
Old Testament's really good.
No, but yeah, I was having a Bible study with him, and he wants to know, like, he wants to see signs and miracles, and he wants to know how the power of the Holy Spirit works. And we were done. I was like, "Can you pray?" And he prayed for like 2 seconds. So I was like, "All right, let me pray too." It was just a very simple prayer, and I didn't think anything of it. I was just praying, and when I opened my eyes, I could see that he was crying, and we were in my living room. We were just talking, and then it was just amazing to me how the Holy Spirit comes, and the power of the Holy Spirit comes when you ask for it. That really encouraged me to see someone who's willing to get to know God, have that encounter with God. It motivated me, honestly, because I want everyone to feel that. I want everyone to feel that love and that power that he felt that one night, just me and him. And well, his cousin was there too, but he was in the back. But shout out, Matt.
Just me and him. Oh yeah, but his cousin was in the corner
guy in there, huh?
being a weirdo. I gave him a Gatorade and some cheeses, and he just was quiet the whole time.
Shout out to Matt, though.
Shout out to
Stay
Matt.
under 180, buddy.
But yeah, that was probably one of the most recent awe moments.
Dario?
I got the diesel.
Is that really your favorite moment?
No.
I
So
love reading.
mine was.
Convention.
I think it was not even convention.
Sorry.
Convention was cool. I liked convention. It would be going from our first, from the very first, or not my very first, the camp, having the kids like remember me at like conventions.
The second
after.
time. Mm-hmm.
And that was like years after, like a year or two after, and they would still remember me. That was cool. I put like one of the kids he was a little bad, but he kind of like related to me. I don't know why. I'm not bad, but
Okay.
he related to me a lot. He was bad, and I got there, and then like he just kind of like I didn't whip him into shape, but he started like kind of listening to me just because he could relate to me a lot how I am. That wasn't too cool for Jesus and to be a leader at my age. So like that was cool. He made me be like, all right, maybe I am doing something
That matters.
Mm.
Right? That's cool. All right, cool. So we just it was good to share with you guys. Just remember that God, this is our stories, and we shared them with you guys. I hope that it's been a blessing to you in one way or another. We'll be here not this week, but next week. But yeah, if you need any more information about any of these guys, just put it in the comments below. Or
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe to our channel. And then also we got to give a shout out to SUM West Denver cohort.
Yes.
West Side.
If you
West
want to go to school, please let us know. Just kidding.
Yes, if you want an opportunity to follow your call in your life, SUM is affordable. It's great. It's amazing.
It's affordable.
Fully accredited.
Fully accredited. You could have a 3-year plan, or you could be on my plan.
Any AA. They actually made a thing about it.
Anytime, anywhere. So, but yeah, shout out to you guys. Shout out to my wife Joanna, the cohort advisor. If you need information,
Moses
for being here. Hey, Moses. Jay Saavedra at sum.edu. If you need any more information on SUM. But God bless you guys. We love you guys. Thank you guys for being here. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you guys next time. Jesus loves you. Stay up. Stay collective.
Woo, woo.